Rui. Thank you so much for speaking to us today. So obviously, I asked you to come on here because we're interested in talking to different people in the technology sector who are hiring and obviously having a general conversation about diversity, which I know is something you're passionate about. We'll get to that in a minute. So we'll start off by me saying congratulations on your role at Stint. I was having a look, and obviously, Stint is in the top 10 most exciting startups on LinkedIn. So that can only be a good thing. Tell
Exactly.
me about it. Tell me about the business. What drew you to them?
What they are doing, the product that they have really resonated with me. I remember being in university and trying to find quick jobs and some quick cash, and really I like the idea of empowering our students, right, and our youngsters. So it was the main reason that drove me to even speak with and go through the interview process.
I think it's a great idea. I wish I had that when I was studying because you end up with just rubbish jobs through uni. So it just means that you've got some options. No, it looks brilliant. I'm really excited by it. So, talking about hiring into your team, obviously you've worked in big corporate startups, a whole mixture of in between. So, I'm kind of keen to ask you what you think when you're hiring into your team. What does an exceptional software engineer look like to you?
I think exceptional for me is when they go beyond just ticking the boxes
Yeah,
and really show passion for engineering excellence, and can have opinions and have experience with different ways of achieving the same thing, as well as for the business and what we are doing, what we are hiring for.
yeah,
So is when they go that extra mile, let's say. Um, it also, I really like people that are highly collaborative and that
yeah.
really want to work with other people to deliver a better solution.
Because that can be quite hard to find sometimes. The soft skills element, I
Mm,
think, that goes with the software engineering market. Some people tend to be introverts in that section, so I think that's quite important. So part of what you and I were talking about previously, we were talking about diversity and what that means. And one of the things that we kind of talked about was diversity meaning more than just having an equal balance of gender. So one of my questions for you is what does a diverse workforce mean to you? Talking about these things of an exceptional engineer, but outside of that, how do you make your team diverse and interesting?
yeah, it's more than just gender, right? It's all types of cultures and backgrounds, and uh, even neurodiversity can also be useful in expanding the team. But it ultimately comes down to just having different ways of thinking,
Yeah,
different approaches that can help us solve problems from different perspectives, or come up with ideas from different perspectives, out of the box ideas, that helps us propel forward, in whatever we are delivering. So
how
that's the true value of diversity, in my opinion.
I agree with you because I think a lot of people put it down to gender, and it's so much more than that.
Mm.
Having worked in different sized and shaped organisations, without going into the specifics of the different businesses, did their diversity policies differ massively, or how they were trying to attract? What did you think worked and what didn't?
Hmm. I don't think so. At least in my experience, I think most places where I worked, diversity was important, and and there was a certain passion, not just from myself, but from management and recruitment and HR and so on, and the colleagues in general.
Yeah,
Um, I just think that different types of organizations may have an easier time to act on those thoughts,
yeah,
basically. Some more freedom to engage the market in a different way, um, or to partner with different partners,
yeah.
uh, and so on and so forth. So I think that's the big difference. Is then, for example, bigger corporations may be a little bit more limited with whom they partner, because or maybe they already have a strong partner list,
Yeah.
and then it's not easy to just bring across another partner. There's a whole process to it. Whilst a smaller company, maybe they are more flexible and they can just partner with someone else
Yeah, and be a
easily.
bit more agile with it. No, that makes complete sense. Do you think, I know we talked about diversity not being gender related, but just talking about
Hmm.
there's a huge volume of, stuff out in the market talking about women in tech. Do you think that there are less female candidates, or is it starting to balance now in the market? What do you think?
There's definitely less
By a
candidates.
lot.
Yes, yes. So it's very, yeah. So it is true that diversity is not just gender, but that's one of the big gaps that we have. Um, uh, I don't know why. I just have the experience of us
It is.
publishing a vacancy and having candidates come through, and the volume of uh, females versus males, it's it's minor, right? It's much smaller. So that's just the experience. So you need to go out of your way to make sure that the way you present the vacancy, it's it's open to all types of people,
Yeah.
um, and that the language you use is inclusive, um, and that and then when the candidates come through, that you give equal opportunities, and maybe the process by which you receive candidates needs to tackle any bias that you may have
Yeah.
naturally, unconscious bias. So if the process facilitates that by maybe hiding that the candidate is these or that, and simple things like even hiding the name, for example, can hide not just gender but culture,
Yeah.
background,
Everything. I
um,
agree.
you
It's
know.
it's a big problem, I think.
So these kinds of things could help at least tackle some problems that may exist, like unconscious bias.
So when you're out in the market and speaking to females and males, do you think once you get candidates of the same tenure, are they of an equal footing? I know that's a broad brush, but is there a gap in the skills or not?
Um, not really.
It's
No, I
just
don't
the
think there's a
tenures.
gap in the skills. It's mostly volume. I mean, there's a gap in the skills in the sense that the more senior the vacancy is, the less candidates I see.
Yeah,
So I think it's a little bit more balanced in more junior roles. But obviously, you know, uh, women in tech have been working for decades now, right?
yeah,
So it's kind of, I don't know what's causing it, but the truth is that, yeah, in more junior roles you see more females, and then the more senior you go, the fewer you see, and the same for leadership, I'm sure.
it is the same. It's the same across the board. A big part of that is things like maternity leave and things like that, where you have then a gap in skills, and I guess that then there's a potential to fall behind the curve of other.
Possibly,
Could be
possibly.
that.
But then when a female candidate has the equivalent amount of experience, um, then they do as well as males, I would say. And
That's
like
good to hear.
then I don't see the discrepancy. When they do have the experience and the knowledge and the know-how, then in my experience, at least the places I worked, we wouldn't choose a male over a female.
Yeah, of
If
course.
they were in equal footing, not at all.
So if you are someone watching this and thinking, right, okay, I want to aspire to be Rui, where should I start? What languages are the best places to start for my training, and how would I go about it?
There's no right answer there because there's many disciplines in software. Um, so I mean, anyone can go through the latest statistics and surveys and things and find out what are the hot languages and start there if they don't have any other criteria. But um, I would instead suggest trying to find their passion. If they really like front end, for example, and building something that is visual, that they can see clients or customers interacting with,
Yeah.
then go front end. Don't start doing back end because or data stuff because Python is popular. But if you're passionate about that, then do that. Um, and likewise, when they start working, even if they start, but for some reason start in one area, but they really like the other one, then look for those opportunities, right, within the company that they are in. Um, and if not within that company, then maybe on the side try to continue developing the skills necessary to make the jump to whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
Build your side projects, collaborate, contribute to open source projects, and do whatever you can to get enough experience to then make that jump. But
Yeah,
hopefully wherever
open
you
source
work you
projects
will
are
have
good,
the
aren't they?
opportunity.
Open
uh,
source projects and things like that are really good. So, in terms of balancing and getting more diversity in the market, what do you think companies need to do to, apart from what we talked about taking off
mm,
names and things, all the obvious stuff? What do you think makes the difference for you when you're going out trying to find
mm.
people? What's the best approach, do you think?
I've tried a few approaches, but I think one that works, or that, as far as I understand and in my limited experience works, is to really partner with women in tech groups, um, or partner with agencies that really have that in their core values and
Yeah.
really work seriously with finding jobs for women, for example, if that's their focus. So it's all about partnering with the right people. So, for example, in Stint, we've just partnered with a women in tech group called Girl Code.
Yeah, I
We
know of them. Yeah.
we have just done that, so we will still publish and let everyone know in social media. So it's brand new, but the hopes is that we just expose our vacancies to as many women as possible, so that we um, close that gap internally.
And also so that people can see that, sometimes people don't apply because I think the statistics are something like
Mm,
women are 60% less likely to apply for a vacancy if they feel that they've even got one thing that's off the job
mm,
spec. It's sort of having the boldness to reach out and speak to people and kind of get communities going. I think that makes a
yeah.
big difference.
Yeah, and that may be the difference between the genders, or the way our society raises people, and that just promotes that behavior. But I would definitely motivate anyone to go after what they want and
Yeah.
try, because if they don't tick all the necessary boxes, then they will just get a no. And if they don't tick all the boxes but they tick enough boxes, then they will be put forward, and then they will have an opportunity to demonstrate that
That's the
actually I
thing.
may not know that little bit of the spec of the requirements, but I'm good in all of these other ways, and I can learn that bit, right?
That's the thing. I think for me, I always say to people, the worst that can happen is someone will say no. Like
Yeah.
that's the worst. That's not even that bad. Someone says no, and every no gets you closer to a yes. And actually, often they're more likely to say yes, or there could be another opportunity for you in the company. So, well, look, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate picking your brains. I'm hoping that at some point I'm going to come back to you, and obviously once you're putting out all of your links and stuff for the Women in Tech group, we'd love to share that as well on social media. And I will speaking to you soon. Good luck with Stint. Thank you for your
All right.
time.
Thank you so much.